So you mentioned earlier about discipline and structure.
Okay.
I know you learned a lot while in the military. You were a pretty neat child,
Okay.
I
Thank
think
you.
I would say. But do you think that is something that is being focused on this with the new generation, or shall I say Generation Z? How do you think they will fare with the military discipline and structure? If they're still, I'm pretty sure they're still like that. But what are your thoughts on discipline and structure?
Good question. So, one some things that the military do as far as structure, things that you may not think about. You exercise before you eat. You exercise after you eat lunch. You exercise after dinner. You study, preparing for. You do have tests in the military as well. I'm talking about boot camp, just as the first barrier to getting to the military. So you eat. You structure your meals around 3 square meals a day.
Okay.
That's something that you're not. Most kids may not be used to. Especially being a teenager. You go to sleep at certain times. You wake up at a certain time. You have to make sure you are neat. You have to make your bunk. You have to fold your clothes. You have to do a lot of things that our parents tell us to do. Well, guess what? When you go into the military, the first thing that I was told, I'm not your mom from my company commander. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. But we're going to do the things that your mom and dad tells you. So it's not that's good structure. So kids today and any generation, even when we was coming up, you need that. I mean,
Right.
if you think about that, when you go out into the real world, after just say like if you go into the military and you don't make it a career, think about you coming out into the real world. You can be so much advanced than people, young adults your age, because you have people that was constantly on you about being structured.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So do I think that every high school kid, everyone need it? Yes, absolutely. If it's not just for 2 years, 4 years, maybe 2 years, maybe just the reserve, just a little bit, that boot camp structure and then the military structure itself, it will help. Okay. So definitely.
Well, I can say that from a college perspective, because that's a rude awakening as well.
I
So you go from your house, most people, majority of people, right,
Mm-hmm.
where your parents wake you up. You may have an alarm,
Mm-hmm.
but you're on your own. Your mom or dad or your parental figure isn't there to say, okay, it's time to get up or do your homework. So I remember that first semester, I'm like, oh, this is all on me. So yes, it does take some discipline and structure, but I can imagine that's accelerated 100 times in the military. So
right. And then here's one more quick thing about the military that a lot of people may not realize: teamwork. Teamwork. Do you know? I remember when I was in, and I remember a guy that couldn't do like one push-up.
Wow.
Now, at the end of boot camp, I think he was what we call like Iron Man. He did over 60 or 70 push-ups. One of the reasons why, because instead of letting that person fail, we work with that person for conditioning. And also, one thing the military is good at, if one person failed, you all fail. So if he couldn't do it, then guess what? We're going to do extra exercise until he can get it right. So you can imagine how, afterwards how that person feels. So he or she wants to try even harder to be able to do what they supposed to do. I think that that's one of the best reasons or best structure that a person can have, because when you get out into the real world, teamwork is there too. You need to learn how to work alone as well as work together. So if you think about that, we all need that.
Right. Okay. Well, those are some that's some great information. So what we're going to do, I'm going to keep going. What we're going to do now is we're going to open this up for, I have lots of information. This book is full of information, so I have more questions, but we want to entertain questions from you all. So if you have some questions about college, well, you're the expert now too. College, I can certainly talk to you. I'm obviously an HR consultant, but if you have questions about college, trade school, or military, please drop your comments below. Please maybe the next session we will take a couple,
live,
or Q&A or something like that. So we want to hear from you as well. Definitely. So thank you for watching. We appreciate you.
Thank you.